Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like time has stolen something from you? The face staring back isn't quite the same as the one you remember. The world moves faster, friendships shift, and the body you once trusted now feels unfamiliar. Aging can feel like an uphill battle, a slow loss of everything that once made life vibrant. But what if I told you? The battle isn't against aging itself. The real struggle is against our resistance to it. You see, society tells us that youth is everything. It glorifies smooth skin, fast bodies, and endless energy, while quietly making aging feel like a failure. But Buddhism offers a different perspective, one that is freeing, powerful, even beautiful. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we fight the natural flow of life. Impermanence is not something to fear. It is the very key to freedom. Think about it. We spend so much time trying to freeze moments, to hold on to what must inevitably change. But what if aging isn't something to dread? What if it's something to embrace? Today, I'll share 5 profound Buddhist truths about aging that will completely shift your perspective. These are not bitter lessons, they are liberating. They will help you see aging not as a loss, but as an unfolding of something deeper, something richer. And as we go through this journey together, if this message speaks to you, I invite you to join our community. Subscribe, stay connected, and let's walk this path with wisdom, peace, and purpose. Because aging is not the closing of a book, it's simply the turning of a page. And this next chapter, it's yours to write. 1. You will be forgotten faster than you think, and that's okay. One of the hardest truths to accept is this: you will be forgotten sooner than you think. The career you built, the home you cherished, the stories you told, over time they will fade from memory. At first, this realization can feel heartbreaking. We spend our lives striving to make a difference, believing that our efforts will leave a lasting mark. But time moves forward with or without us. Our children get busy, our friends have their own lives, and eventually the world turns its attention elsewhere. Yet Buddhism offers a beautiful perspective on this truth. The Buddha often spoke about the doctrine of no self, anatta, the idea that we are not fixed, permanent beings. Just as waves rise and fall in the ocean, so too do we arise and pass away, leaving ripples that merge into the great flow of life. Our goal should not be to be remembered, but to be fully present in each moment. There is a well-known Zen story that illustrates this truth beautifully. A wise old monk lived in a remote mountain temple, known to villagers for his kindness and wisdom. Over the decades, many sought his advice, and he guided them through their struggles. One day, a young disciple asked, "Master, does it not sadden you that when you pass away, people may forget your name?" The old monk smiled and pointed to a river flowing past the temple. "Tell me," he said, "where is the water that was here yesterday?" The disciple hesitated, unsure how to respond. "It has flowed on," he finally said. The monk nodded. "Yet the river remains." The lesson was clear. It is not our name that endures, but the current of our actions. The river does not cling to its water, just as we should not cling to the illusion of permanence. A Zen monk once said, "A single candle can light 1,000 others without losing its own flame. The kindness, wisdom, and love you share today do not disappear. They live on, not as names in history books, but in the hearts of those you've touched." Think about it. Do you remember the name of every teacher who ever inspired you? Probably not, but their influence shaped you nonetheless. The warmth of a parent's love, the guidance of a mentor, the generosity of a stranger, all these things remain in the fabric of our existence, even if their names slip away. So let go of the need to be remembered. Instead, focus on living well now. Be kind, be present, and let your actions create ripples of goodness in the lives of others. That is how you leave a true legacy. Aging is not about chasing after a name that lingers in history. It's about making every moment meaningful so that when your time comes, you can go with peace, knowing that the river of your life has nourished others along the way. 2. Your body will betray you. So befriend it instead. Have you ever found yourself pausing at the bottom of the stairs, remembering a time when you could sprint up effortlessly? Maybe now even the simplest tasks remind you painfully that your body isn't what it used to be. Perhaps climbing those steps makes your knees creak and your back ache. It might feel like a betrayal, as though your own body, the trusted companion of a lifetime, has suddenly turned against you. Yet, the Buddha would gently remind us, this isn't betrayal, it's simply nature doing what nature must do. Just as a tree gracefully sheds its leaves in autumn, so too our bodies must evolve through the seasons of our lives. The problem isn't the aging body itself, it's our attachment to an idealized image of youth, strength, and boundless energy. Clinging to this illusion creates a resistance within us, and it's that resistance, not aging itself, which creates our deepest pain. Think back to the years when your body was effortlessly responsive, when running was second nature and carrying heavy loads was easy. Your body back then felt invincible. But now, perhaps, your knees ache with every stair climbed. Your back twinges with each lift, and your eyes strain to see clearly. It's easy to feel frustrated and disappointed by these changes, to feel betrayed. But consider another perspective. 1. Rooted deeply in compassion and gratitude. In Buddhism, the body is viewed as a vessel, a temporary but sacred container for the soul's journey. It's not an enemy to conquer, nor a machine to resent when it malfunctions. It's an old friend, one that deserves patience and kindness, especially in its later years. Think of all the adventures your body has supported you through. It carried you through youthful exuberance, through the trials of adulthood, and now supports you in your mature years, even with all its aches and pains. Isn't that deserving of kindness rather than resentment? Let me share with you a Buddhist parable that beautifully illustrates this truth. An aging monk, once strong and capable, found his daily tasks increasingly challenging. He once carried large buckets of water easily from the river to the temple, but now his arms trembled and his pace slowed. Frustrated, he approached his master one evening and asked, "Master, why does my body fail me now, when it once obeyed my every command?" The master simply smiled, handing him a cracked clay pot. "Look closely," the master said. "This pot once held water effortlessly, but now it leaks. Does that mean it no longer has value?" The old monk, puzzled at first, shook his head. "No, master, it still holds water even though some leaks out." "Exactly," replied the master. "And the water that escapes nourishes the plants below, creating beauty and growth. The pot's worth hasn't diminished because it's changed. It simply serves a different purpose now." In that moment, the monk understood clearly that aging wasn't about losing value. It was about redefining it. Your body may no longer perform as it once did, but it remains meaningful, serving different but equally valuable purposes. Consider, for example, a woman named Eleanor. In her younger years, Eleanor was an avid marathon runner, thriving on the adrenaline and joy of competition. Now, in her mid-70s, she no longer runs marathons. Arthritis and slower reflexes make running impossible. Yet Eleanor has found new joy and purpose in daily yoga and gentle meditation. She speaks warmly of how these quieter, gentler practices not only keep her body active, but have deepened her self-awareness and inner peace. Like Eleanor, embracing change with grace and curiosity transforms aging from a battle into a meaningful journey. It shifts our perspective from loss to appreciation, from resentment to gratitude. You might not be able to run as fast or lift as heavy as before, but your capacity to move gently through life, to care, to love, and to inspire others with your resilience is perhaps greater than ever before. So practically speaking, how do we befriend our bodies instead of resenting them? First, practice deep listening. Your body is constantly communicating, guiding you toward what it needs. If it calls for rest, honor that request instead of pushing harder. If certain movements cause pain, explore gentler alternatives like swimming, yoga, tai chi, or simply a mindful walk in nature. Your body knows what it requires. Your job is simply to listen. Second, prioritize nourishment, not just for longevity, but for vitality. Consider your meals as moments of compassionate care, feeding your body as you would a cherished friend. Fresh fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and nourishing whole. Foods are acts of kindness, helping your body remain your supportive partner. And finally, acknowledge your limitations without judgment. It's okay if you move slower, if your hands shake, or your eyesight dims. Each limitation is an invitation to deepen your inner strength and wisdom. Your physical condition does not dictate your spirit's potential. As long as breath fills, your lungs, your life has purpose and value. I want to share another story, this one very real and close to the heart. Paul, an 82-year-old former construction worker, had spent decades proudly defining himself by physical strength. But age caught up. His once strong hands weakened, joints stiffened painfully, and his stamina diminished. Initially, Paul fought these changes bitterly, feeling that aging had robbed him of his identity. But everything shifted when his granddaughter introduced him to woodworking, a gentler, creative task he could perform sitting down. As Paul carefully crafted small wooden toys for his great-grandchildren, he discovered something profound. Strength wasn't only measured in how much he could lift, but also in the care and tenderness he put into each creation. Paul's new identity became richer, infused with creativity and gentle strength. Through acceptance, Paul turned resentment into gratitude and found joy in his aging body once again. This is the secret Buddhism has always understood. True peace is not in resisting aging, but in embracing it, befriending your body as it changes. Aging, when accepted gracefully, becomes a beautiful journey of wisdom, compassion, and insight. It becomes a testament not to what has been lost, but what has been gained. Wisdom, empathy, patience, and gratitude. Imagine for a moment if every ache were a gentle reminder to slow down and appreciate the moment. Imagine seeing every wrinkle as proof of laughter and experience, every gray hair as evidence of challenges faced and overcome. Imagine treating your body as your dearest friend, grateful for every moment it has supported you. Remember, your body isn't betraying you. It is honoring nature's wisdom. It is gently nudging you to adapt, to grow, to discover new ways of moving through this life. Honor this wisdom by befriending your body, treating it with kindness, patience, and respect. Move gently, eat wisely, rest when needed, and never underestimate the profound strength and beauty that comes with embracing your aging body. In doing so, you transform the so-called betrayal into a beautiful friendship, one that deepens your appreciation for life itself. Aging then ceases to be a source of suffering, becoming instead a profound opportunity to live fully with grace, gratitude, and true wisdom. 3. You can't keep everyone in your life, and that's natural. Have you ever scrolled through old photographs and felt a gentle pang of sadness? Familiar faces, once inseparable from your daily life, now reduced to memories, beautiful, poignant, yet distant. Friends you thought would always be there have drifted away. Family members who once gathered frequently now only call occasionally. Sometimes people disappear entirely, leaving behind a silence heavier than the loudest farewell. This experience can evoke an unsettling sense of loss or even guilt. Did I do something wrong? Wasn't I enough? We often ask ourselves, yet Buddhism gently reminds us that everything in life, including relationships, is impermanent. change is not only natural, it's essential. Think about the seasons. Each has its time, its beauty, and its purpose. Summer blossoms, vibrant and abundant, gradually give way to autumn's quiet reflection. Relationships work much the same way. Some friendships are brief, blooming quickly and brightly, then fading. Others endure through many seasons, but even they eventually change form. This truth is beautifully captured in a well-known Buddhist parable. A young monk, grappling with the pain of loss, approached his master, seeking answers. "Master," he asked, "why do people leave us, especially when we love them so deeply?" The master led the monk to a quiet riverbank, pointing at the water flowing swiftly downstream. "Observe the river," he instructed gently. "Each drop passes by quickly, never lingering. Some drops travel side by side for a while, blending together beautifully before separating, never to meet again. Others flow together longer, but eventually even they must part." The young monk sat quietly, reflecting on this teaching. The master continued softly, "People are much like these drops of water. Some enter our lives briefly, leaving subtle ripples. Others journey with us for decades, creating deeper currents. Yet inevitably, the flow of life moves us forward, and separation occurs. Our sorrow does not arise from their departure, but from our expectation that their presence was permanent." The monk gazed at the river thoughtfully, finally understanding that love does not require possession or permanence. Instead, love is appreciating someone's presence for however long it lasts, understanding that impermanence is intrinsic to the beauty and depth of every relationship. Take, for example, Margaret, who lost her husband of 45 years. 4 months after his passing, she felt as though a crucial part of herself had vanished. Each morning, waking up without him by her side felt surreal. The silence of their home was heavy, filled with echoes of laughter and shared conversations. Margaret initially isolated herself, believing no new relationship could replace what she had lost. But gradually, Margaret discovered something profound through her grief. She realized her husband's love had not vanished. It was deeply embedded within her, guiding her actions, influencing her choices, and enriching her capacity to love and care for others. Eventually, she found courage in joining a local community group dedicated to gardening, a passion she and her husband had once shared. Through gardening, Margaret connected with others who had experienced similar losses. These new friendships didn't replace her husband, nor did they erase her grief. Instead, they opened her heart to new connections, providing a comforting space to honor her past while continuing forward. She discovered that although relationships change, love itself does not fade. It transforms, taking new shapes and expressions. It's crucial to understand that losing relationships is rarely personal. It's natural to drift apart. Friends who once shared everything may find their paths diverging. Family members may relocate, becoming distant emotionally as well as physically. Such shifts don't indicate failure. They reflect life's constant movement and evolution. Consider another real-life scenario. George, a retired teacher in his late 70s. Over his career, George had impacted countless lives. Yet, as years passed, many former students and colleagues faded from his life, moving forward on their paths. Initially, he struggled with the notion of being forgotten, feeling isolated as visits and messages dwindled. But one day, George received an unexpected letter from a former student who had found him through social media. The student, now a successful entrepreneur, expressed heartfelt gratitude for George's guidance years earlier. George hadn't remembered the student's name, yet the impact of his teachings was undeniable. This moment deeply shifted George's perspective, helping him realize relationships aren't defined by permanence, but by meaning. It's essential to recognize that letting go of certain relationships can also make room for new, equally meaningful connections. Maintaining an open heart is crucial. Don't view new relationships as replacements, but as new chapters enriching the ongoing story of your life. Practical guidance can help ease the transitions. First, practice acceptance. Acknowledge that people leaving your life doesn't reflect your value or worthiness. Accepting impermanence allows you to cherish relationships deeply without clinging desperately. Second, stay connected through technology when possible. Tools like FaceTime, Zoom, and even social media platforms can maintain bonds despite geographical separation. Keeping lines of communication open preserves valuable connections. Third, actively create space for new relationships. It's never too late to form meaningful bonds. Engage in community activities aligned with your interests, volunteer work, clubs, or social groups. Keep your heart open to friendships that may arrive later in life. Sometimes, the richest connections appear precisely when we least expect them. Additionally, embrace the role you now play in the lives of others. Perhaps you are the wise friend offering perspective, the gentle mentor guiding younger generations, or simply the compassionate listener who offers comfort without judgment. Each role is meaningful and vital. There's also a gentle practice you can adopt, one deeply rooted in Buddhist wisdom. Mindfulness meditation focused on loving kindness, metta. Spend a few minutes daily visualizing people who have come and gone from your life. Silently thank them for the joy, lessons, or experiences they've brought you. This practice helps transform loss into gratitude, replacing bitterness with acceptance and peace. Moreover, actively open your heart to new experiences. Volunteer in your community, join clubs aligned with your hobbies, or participate in social events where you can meet new people. Creating fresh bonds at any age enriches your life immeasurably. Ultimately, the people who leave your life never truly vanish entirely. Their influence, wisdom, and love remain deeply interwoven into who you've become. Each relationship, regardless of its duration, leaves an indelible imprint on your heart, shaping your values, beliefs, and emotional depth. Think of this Zen metaphor. The lotus flower blooms beautifully, not because it holds tightly to its petals, but because it willingly releases them when the time comes. Our lives and relationships flourish similarly, not by clinging, but by gracefully releasing and welcoming the new. Letting go doesn't diminish love. It honors it. It shows respect for the natural rhythm of life and the unique journey each person undertakes. When someone moves out of your life, thank them silently for the memories, lessons, and love they provided. Let gratitude fill the space they leave behind. As you release them, do so with compassion and understanding, knowing their departure creates room for new relationships, new joys, and new beginnings. Remember, love transcends presence. Even when someone departs from your daily life, their essence remains within you, their laughter, their wisdom, their kindness. Celebrate these gifts by sharing them generously with others. By accepting the impermanence of relationships with grace and openness, you transform loss into profound wisdom. You see separation not as something heartbreaking, but as an essential part of life's beautiful, endless flow. You learn to treasure each moment deeply, to hold relationships gently, and most importantly, to keep your heart courageously open. Life is not about preserving every connection forever, but about embracing each relationship fully while it lasts, and gracefully letting go when the moment comes. This is the path to true peace, deep wisdom, and lasting happiness. 4. You no longer look young, and that's a gift. Have you ever glanced at your reflection and felt a quiet shock? The person looking back at you seems familiar yet different. Hair turning silver, lines marking experiences across your face, and eyes reflecting years of stories, both joyful and challenging. Perhaps society has made you feel that aging is a battle you're losing, pushing creams, dyes, surgeries, and endless solutions, promising to erase the years. But what if we could see our aging bodies differently, as Buddhism gently encourages us to do? What if we realized that looking young isn't the ultimate beauty, and aging is, in fact, a profound gift? In our culture, youth is often idolized. Smooth skin, vibrant hair, and physical vigor become symbols of worth and desirability. Consequently, aging can feel like losing these cherished attributes, causing many of us to perceive our natural progression as a threat, something to hide or resist. But Buddhism offers us a radically different perspective, urging us to see aging not as a loss, but as an evolution, a beautiful and valuable transformation. In Buddhist teachings, true beauty isn't superficial. It isn't something you measure by skin elasticity or hair color. True beauty is found in wisdom, kindness, and serenity, qualities that deepen and enrich as we age. Your wrinkles, rather than being signs of decay, become testimonials of laughter shared, tears shed, battles fought, and victories won. Your silver hair, rather than symbolizing loss of youth, becomes a badge of honor earned by navigating life's complexities. Consider this poignant Buddhist story illustrating true beauty. An elderly woman, distressed by her reflection, visited a Zen master renowned for his wisdom. "Master," she lamented, "when I look in the mirror, I barely recognize myself. My beauty has faded, my hair has turned gray, my skin wrinkled. I feel invisible." With gentle compassion, the master took her into the garden and showed her 2 trees. The first was a cherry blossom, vibrant and captivating in its brief bloom. The second was an ancient pine, weathered, deeply grooved, twisted from decades of winds and storms. "Tell me," the master asked gently, "is only the cherry blossom beautiful?" The woman hesitated. "The blossom is stunning, yes," she answered, slowly. "But there is something remarkable about this pine tree. It has character, strength, and dignity." The master smiled warmly. "Exactly. The blossom symbolizes youth, bright but fleeting. The pine, however, represents true beauty, earned through perseverance, wisdom, and resilience. You, my dear, are the pine." Reflecting upon this, the woman felt her heart lift. She realized her beauty had not vanished. It had transformed into something richer and deeper. Consider a real-life story. Helen, in her 70s, was once proud of her thick, rich, dark hair. When gray strands started to appear, she panicked. Initially, she dyed her hair religiously, desperately clinging to the youthful image she'd always known. Yet over time, maintaining this facade became tiring, even hollow. One day, she decided to let her hair go naturally silver, embracing the truth of her age. She found herself astonished by what happened next. As her hair gradually turned fully gray, Helen noticed she was greeted with newfound respect and kindness, especially from younger people who admired her confidence. At the grocery store, people smiled warmly, complimenting her natural elegance. Family and friends commented that she carried herself with remarkable dignity and grace. Helen had never felt more genuinely beautiful, not because she looked younger, but because she had finally embraced who she truly was. This powerful acceptance is something we can all cultivate. It begins with shifting your perception. Aging isn't a flaw, it's a privilege. Each line etched onto your face is a subtle reminder of experiences lived deeply, of love and laughter shared, and wisdom earned. Rather than hiding these signs, celebrate them openly. Understand that the true essence of attractiveness, the kind that remains long after youthful looks fade, lies in self-awareness, inner strength, and the gentle confidence that comes with years of experience. So how can we practically shift our mindset to embrace aging as the gift it truly is? Firstly, reframe your relationship with the mirror. Instead of focusing critically on perceived flaws, approach your reflection with gratitude. Look at your features and acknowledge their stories. These laugh lines remind me of joyful moments, you might say, or these eyes have witnessed countless wonders. Practice appreciating each sign of aging as proof that you've truly lived. Secondly, nurture self-care rituals that honor your present self rather than attempting to restore youth. Instead of harsh beauty regimes aimed at concealing your age, opt for gentle, nourishing practices, hydrating skincare routines, relaxing baths, meditation, and mindful movements like yoga or Tai Chi. Each act of care becomes an affirmation. You value and honor yourself exactly as you are now. Also, learn to see aging as an opportunity to redefine your style and personal expression. Embrace clothing, hairstyles, or even accessories that reflect your inner maturity and grace. Celebrate your age openly rather than concealing it. Consider it not a secret to hide, but a treasure to showcase proudly. Let's look at another inspiring real-life example. Maria. Once a fashion-conscious woman, always meticulous about appearing youthful, initially viewed her signs of aging as unwanted visitors. But gradually, she began experimenting with a new style, one that embraced her mature elegance rather than attempting to mimic youth. Instead of opting for dyes and youthful trends, she chose graceful, timeless fashions and allowed her hair to remain naturally silver. Her transformation drew admiration not just for her appearance, but for her evident self-acceptance and authenticity. She found empowerment in openly honoring her age, discovering a deeper sense of confidence than she had ever known in youth. Practicing mindfulness meditation also deepens your appreciation for aging. Each day, spend time in quiet reflection, observing your breath, acknowledging your body's changes without judgment or criticism. Through mindful breathing, let go of societal expectations, embracing the present moment fully. Meditation nurtures your inner peace, reminding you that true beauty resides within your peaceful presence, wisdom, and compassion, qualities that only deepen with age. Consider sharing your experiences and insights with others. Perhaps mentor younger generations, volunteer, or participate in community groups where your life experience can offer valuable guidance. By giving back, you solidify your legacy, not through youthful appearance, but through meaningful impact. Furthermore, celebrate role models who exemplify graceful aging. Seek inspiration from those who radiate wisdom, peace, and compassion, recognizing their beauty in maturity. Notice how their allure stems not from looking younger, but from their calm presence, warm smiles, and kind actions. Such examples inspire you to proudly showcase your inner beauty, which only strengthens over time. Finally, remember this fundamental truth. Aging is not a loss, but a profound evolution. Each year offers new depth, each wrinkle signals stories shared, and each gray hair symbolizes strength earned through life's trials. Embrace these gifts wholeheartedly, shifting your perspective from resisting age to celebrating it. You no longer look young, and indeed that's precisely your strength. Your beauty now shines not merely on your skin, but radiates from your soul. Celebrate this with pride, grace, and confidence. Recognize that your true beauty, woven from experience, wisdom, and kindness, is timeless and infinitely more profound than any fleeting youthful glow. Age gracefully, age proudly, and above all, honor the beautiful truth that aging has not diminished your worth, it has magnified it. 5. You will see more people you love die, but love never dies. There comes a time in everyone's life when loss becomes an inevitable companion. It begins quietly, perhaps with grandparents, parents, or elderly relatives, and gradually expands to include friends, siblings, or even children. Each loss brings profound grief, a deep emptiness, and an unsettling sense of loneliness. It's natural to fear these losses. The pain of saying goodbye to loved ones can feel overwhelming, leaving behind a void that seems impossible to fill. Yet, Buddhism gently reminds us of a profound truth that can help us navigate this difficult terrain. Love never truly dies. Even though the physical presence of our loved ones fades, the love we shared continues to resonate in our hearts, our memories, and our daily lives. Buddhism teaches us that while loss is an inevitable part of human existence, the bonds of love endure, transcending the boundaries of life and death. Consider the poignant Buddhist parable of Kisa Gotami, a young woman devastated by the death of her only child. Stricken by grief, she carried her son's lifeless body from door to door, desperately seeking someone who could restore him to life. Eventually, she reached the Buddha, who compassionately listened to her anguish and gently offered a seemingly simple solution. "Bring me a mustard seed from a household that has never known death, and I shall restore your child." Filled with hope, Kisa Gotami began her search, knocking on doors throughout the village. Yet at every house, she encountered the same sorrow she was suffering. Each family had experienced loss, a parent, a child, a sibling, or a friend. Through this journey, she gradually realized she was not alone in her pain. Returning to the Buddha, Kisa Gotami understood the universal nature of grief, recognizing that loss binds humanity together in profound ways. This ancient story illustrates that loss and grief are intrinsic to the human experience. No one is immune, yet there is solace in the shared understanding that love endures beyond death, continuing in our hearts, our memories, and our actions. Take the example of William, a gentle and compassionate man in his 80s who lost his beloved wife of over 50 years, Elizabeth. Her passing left him feeling profoundly empty and lost. Their home, once filled with laughter, warmth, and shared memories, became painfully silent. Initially, William struggled with profound grief, finding it difficult even to perform daily tasks. Yet over time, he discovered a powerful way to honor Elizabeth's memory and keep her spirit alive. Elizabeth had always been passionate about community service, dedicating her life to helping those in need. Remembering this, William began volunteering at a local soup kitchen, a place Elizabeth had loved and supported passionately. Each meal he served, each person he helped, became a tribute to her kindness and generosity. Gradually, William's grief transformed into a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Elizabeth's legacy lived on vividly through his actions, her values guiding him forward even in her absence. William's story is a powerful example of transforming grief into meaningful action. It illustrates how love endures, shaping our actions and influencing the lives around us long after someone has passed away. This enduring love is not bound by physical presence. It resides deeply within our souls, guiding our choices, behaviors, and interactions. To practically embody this Buddhist wisdom, here are several actionable steps you can embrace to navigate grief and keep love alive. Firstly, take the time to write down the stories, lessons, and memories shared with your departed loved ones. Journaling these cherished experiences preserves their wisdom, values, and personalities in tangible form. Whether it's a personal journal, a collection of letters, or a memoir, writing keeps their spirits vividly present. Revisiting these writings provides comfort, healing, and a meaningful way to reconnect with the love you shared. Secondly, actively engage in activities your loved ones cherished. If they loved gardening, planting flowers in their honor can be profoundly therapeutic. If they had a favorite recipe, cooking and sharing this meal with friends and family can evoke warm, comforting memories. Each action you take, inspired by their passions, reinforces the enduring presence of their love in your daily life. Thirdly, consider creating rituals that honor their memory. Lighting a candle on significant dates, visiting places you once enjoyed together, or simply dedicating quiet moments to their remembrance creates sacred spaces in which love remains palpable. Rituals help anchor you in meaningful reflection, allowing grief and love to coexist peacefully within your heart. Another powerful practice is actively giving back to the community in ways that reflect your loved one's values and passions. Volunteering, charitable donations, or community service activities channel your grief into positive, impactful actions. Just as William honored Elizabeth through volunteering, you too can honor those you've lost by embodying their values and spreading their kindness. Also, connect with support groups or communities of people experiencing similar grief. Sharing your feelings, memories, and experiences with others who truly understand your journey creates deep bonds of empathy and mutual support. Such communities remind you that grief is not isolating. It can unite, strengthen, and heal. Lastly, practice mindfulness and compassion meditation. Buddhism emphasizes cultivating compassion not only toward others but toward ourselves, especially in times of grief. Mindfulness meditation helps you gently acknowledge your pain without resistance, while compassion meditation fosters kindness, understanding, and acceptance within your grieving heart. Regular practice deepens your emotional resilience and helps you gracefully carry your loss. Remember, while grief never completely disappears, its sharp edges gradually soften, making room for gratitude, acceptance, and renewed purpose. Love continues to thrive in the space grief leaves behind, shaping your actions, decisions, and interactions. This enduring love becomes your loved one's lasting legacy, a legacy you honor by living fully, compassionately, and meaningfully. Death, while deeply painful, can also illuminate life's profound interconnectedness. Each loss teaches us valuable lessons about cherishing the present moment, appreciating relationships deeply, and cultivating empathy toward others. These lessons become part of your legacy, guiding future generations, creating ripples of enduring love. In the quiet moments when grief feels overwhelming, remind yourself of this profound truth. Your loved ones never truly leave you. Their laughter echoes softly within your heart. Their wisdom guides your steps. Their kindness shapes your actions. Their love remains alive, vibrant, and powerful, forever interwoven into the fabric of your being. Ultimately, love transcends death. By honoring the memories and legacies of those we have lost, we find meaning, purpose, and profound peace. Through our continued actions inspired by their lives, we ensure that their love never dies. It flourishes, continually enriching our hearts and the world around us. Embrace aging with grace. Aging is not the end. It's a profound, beautiful, and enriching chapter in your life's journey. Each wrinkle, each gray hair, and each story etched in your heart is a testament to a life fully lived. Society may sometimes frame aging as something to be feared or resisted, but Buddhism teaches us to view it differently, as a privilege, a mark of wisdom, and an opportunity for deeper connection with ourselves and others. Embracing aging means appreciating the impermanence of life, understanding that true beauty is found in wisdom, kindness, and authenticity, rather than superficial appearances. It means recognizing that while our bodies and relationships inevitably change, these transformations bring new meanings, deeper insights, and profound peace. It's about cherishing every moment, staying open-hearted in the face of loss, and finding new ways to honor those we've loved and lost. Aging invites us to transform our fears into gratitude, our losses into legacies, and our challenges into sources of profound wisdom. If this message resonated with you, I warmly invite you to subscribe and join our community. Here, we explore life's greatest lessons together, sharing insights, wisdom, and compassion on this beautiful journey of growth and self-discovery. Thank you for taking the time to reflect, to grow, and to walk this path of mindful aging alongside us. Your presence here enriches our community deeply, and together we can continue embracing each new chapter with grace, courage, and gratitude. Remember, aging is not about losing youth. It's about gaining wisdom, deepening love, and fully embracing life. Here's to a journey filled with peace, purpose, and joyful acceptance of all life's seasons.